So we say hello. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to say hello to Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca. Hello.
Hiya, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Fantastic. You sound good. How are you doing?
Yes, I was like enjoying listening to the end of the quiz there, and glad that my daughter stopped yelling upstairs just before.
Yeah, you were saying about normally put your daughter to bed. How old is your daughter?
She's 22 months. She's going to be 2 at the end of May, but gone through a phase when it has to be me to put to bed. So glad we've broken the cycle tonight. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, got you out of a job. So she hasn't really decided her politics yet, no?
Well, you could say that, although we joke that she's the littlest Lib Dem because she's managed to sneak into pictures occasionally in the paper. Like I turn up to an event just with her, and then the photographers are like, "Oh, let me take a picture of baby." Like, no, we're talking about this.
Well, it's a classic politician move, isn't it? On the campaign trail, is you kiss a baby. Now, obviously, there's COVID and all that. Oh, you've got your own baby, which is just one step ahead, isn't it? You thought about it. You planned this stuff. Let's think about it. 22 months. Yeah, you must have. You know, it's fixed term parliaments, isn't it? You knew when the election was coming.
I'll tell you what, when I stood in the general election in 2019 and I had a 6-month-old, that was not planned.
So I'm going to ask you about your background. I can see that there's it's like one of those detective shows from America where there's like post-it notes on the wall and there's all these different colors. Is that your campaign?
The post-it notes are literally my daughter playing with them. So
right.
That's out with the constituency. So now this is a great map my friend made me. Gregan, shout out to Gregan. He's an awesome.
Oh, here's a map. Oh no, I can see it now. I can see it now. There's the harbour at the top, and there's
all the
New Haven to the left and all that.
Credit to him. He's retired, but basically a full-time volunteer. He helps us out a lot.
Very nice. So how did you get into politics then?
It wasn't like when I was young. I think I think when I went to senior schools, when I first started getting interested in it, it was like a big election, when Blair got elected. And I just really remember, I don't know, I just was a bit of a fan. So then I didn't join the Labour Party.
Obviously, he wasn't a Lib Dem. So how come you've not ended up being
I think when I was young, I made an absolute point of saying I'm not going to join any of the parties. All I want to do when I vote is like find out about the candidate and then choose the best candidate in the local elections. But I grew up in South London, and to be honest, there weren't any Lib Dems near me. And when we moved up here, there were a few more. But by then, I'd been a journalist for like 8 years, and I worked in political programming. So I had to not be a member of a party. But by that point, I was already like in secret a Lib Dem. So I could only become a member later on in like 2013, 14.
Actually, see on that thing, there's you can't be a member of a political party if you're doing political journalism. Is it not the case that one of the top BBC guys was, used to be a young Tory, like Peston or something like that? Or
no. I'm not saying it was a rule. There's politically restricted jobs, but I just thought it was best for the fact that I was like actually in the election results team. It's probably not a sensible idea to join a party. So it's my own choice.
Yeah. No, it is a good idea. I mean, like journalists should be away from the parties, but hey ho. So now I mentioned it earlier on, but I'll just say it again now that you're on. You're standing in Edinburgh North and Leith. Is that right?
Technically Edinburgh Northern, but yes, Edinburgh Northern and Leith.
Okay, right. I mean, I live in the constituency, and it changes the name occasionally. So I looked at the result from 2016. Lib Dems were a distant fourth. So it
did not do well last time.
How's it going this time? Is it any better?
Well, I've got to be honest with you. Today, I'm pretty crestfallen because we were meant to start canvassing today, which is absolutely the best thing about campaigning, when you just knock on doors and go, hiya, fancy vote, and chat to people. That's what I really enjoy. So I was so looking forward to it today. That's what I was going to be doing all day. But it's been pushed back. I don't know when the government are going to okay it. So I'm a bit down about that.
So when did you find that out?
A few days towards the end of last week. We thought there was like a rumor of it happening, but like just at the end of last week.
So you say it's the best thing ever. Do you ever get a mouthful of abuse, like you knock on doors?
Oh yeah, I mean, but you remember, like, I'm used to doors being slammed at me. Like, I was a journalist, so I've pretty thick skin. Like, you know, the talk show, the talk radio show LBC. So I used to be an assistant producer there, so I'd pick up the phone and I'd filter out the people before they went on air. So imagine the stuff you hear that before the on air. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a similar job at the BBC years and years ago, late night Radio 5, and most people were drunk that phoned in. That was the thing. It was a lot of drunk people.
I just got more abuse than drunken, actually, I think.
Right. Well, ours was on at midnight, you know, so it was like.
Well, the time of I did mornings at the weekend, like the early morning shifts at the weekend.
Yeah. So, are you working now, or are you like sort of full time?
I work at Holyrood.
Political candidate. Oh, you work at Holyrood?
Yeah, for an MSP.
What do you do? What do you do?
So I work for the Edinburgh Western MSP Arts called Hamilton.
All right. Okay.
So what I did was I left. I worked at Kingdom FM in Fife, which is an independent station. It was great fun. Really great news team there. And I was like, right, I'm just going to be done, take a break. So I just handed my notice in because I had such a long notice period as editor. And I was like, I'm just going to leave and find a job. And then, like, during my notice period, suddenly a staff election was called, and everyone was joking that I'd like phoned Theresa May, like, can you do us a favour?
Yeah.
Career-wise. So the BBC called me the same day and like, can you come back and help? And I nearly did, because I really missed the team. And like every night, you know, the people who watch the election night programming, all the folk in the back in the black t-shirts, that was me running around, wait for 36 hours. Kind of, it was mad but loads of fun. And I did it every year for a long time, and I still miss it, to be honest. But I thought I could go back and do this, but maybe I should try politics. And I think I said in my interview, like, I spent so many years working at so many different TV and radio programs, talking about what politicians should be doing, and I was like, maybe I should get involved rather than doing it.
I mean, like, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like your most likely way to get elected, standing as a Lib Dem these days in Edinburgh North. I mean, I don't know how it's going to go, but you tell me you've done all these years, still look about 25. So obviously you're going to climb the.
I'm 35.
Not bad, going nice. So you obviously got to climb the pole and get a more electable seat next time, something like that, you know.
I mean, I was at when Willie Rennie and I were at a photo shoot last week, and a photographer said, do you know what? I think they owe you a winnable seat. And then I said, can I quote you that to Willie? And then he said, oh yeah, we're tackling gender, but the next thing is diversity, because him and I work a lot on, because I'm mixed race. We do a lot of work on that, and all the parties need to do better, but we're really trying to improve.
Well, you know what's going to go in your favour is if you get a good score in the quiz here. That's what's going to really. I
feel really glad to my mate Charles, because he did a good turn last week.
He did fantastic.
I knew he'd be great because he's brilliant with this stuff. See, I enjoy a pub quiz. But I shouldn't. Well, if I'm honest, I used to do my pub quizzes with my mate Sam, who's brilliant. So he just carried the team, and I kind of turned up for the fun. But we'll see how we go.
You've been at my quiz. You've done Dr. Paul quiz.
I think the Brass Monkey one. Yeah.
Yeah. Aye, you'll be all right. You'll be fine. So I'm going to start. We're going to get into it now because of. You got stuff to do there, and I've got to get on with everybody else. So it's great talking to you, but I'm going to start the quiz. Quick explanation how it works. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. That's all it is. First question is worth 1 point. Second question is worth 2 points, and so on. So they get slightly more difficult every time. You start off easy, get more difficult. If you got them all right, you would score 55 points. Okay, and nobody's done that, but you'll get a good score. It's because of. There's a good performance by Charles the other week. So Lib Dems are just behind the Greens, just behind first place. This should shoot you into first place. All right. So here we go. And there's a couple of multiple choice ones along the way. And don't be afraid to think out loud or have a wonder. So let's just get started. Here we go. So first one's really easy, just to get you going. 1 point. In which sport was the Scottish sportsman Andy Murray a former world number one?
Tennis.
Yeah, there we go. Nice and easy on the board. So that's 1 out of 1. One scored, 1 point, one question. 100% so far. Absolute success. Question number 2. Now, television. Now, you seem quite intellectual, so you probably don't know this, right? So, which television talent show made stars out of Leona Lewis and Little Mix. And to be completely honest, I would get this wrong. I don't know. I don't watch TV because
I loved watching those programs. I watched X Factor when they both won. I'm a huge Little Mix fan. So.
And you've given us the answer there. X Factor is perfect. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm just I'm way too esoteric and poetical for all that type of thing.
This was a long time ago. I don't watch them now, but.
Well, you're doing a great job there, Rebecca. You're coming across as bright and intellectual, but still in touch with the people. You're doing a great job.
I'm not ashamed, but people are like, I should be ashamed of Saturday Night Telly. I'm like, no, it's great fun. I watch both.
You're absolutely right to think that. Yeah, there's some snobbery around that. Right. Okay. Question number 3. For 3 points. Which piece in chess can only move in diagonal lines?
Oh, I used to play chess with my dad, Bishop.
Yes, very good. Right, 3 out of 3 so far. Brilliant. Great start. Now, this is more difficult, but it is a 50-50. It's a multiple choice question. So question number 4, which manifesto did the Italian Filippo Tommaso Marinetti write in 1908? Was it the Anarchist Manifesto or the Futurist Manifesto?
In what year?
1908. The guy was called Filippo Tommaso Marinetti, and he was Italian. And I'm asking, was it the Anarchist Manifesto or the Futurist Manifesto?
The Anarchist?
No, it was the Futurist Manifesto. It was an expression of artistic philosophy, apparently. And I said I'm an intellectual. I got no idea about that stuff. That was bad luck. That was a very difficult one for 4 points. Question number 5, though. Get you back on board here. Hakuna Matata is a song from which 1994 Disney animated film?
One of my favourite films of all time, The Lion King.
Perfect. 5 points. Bang. We're going great. Right. Number 6 is a modern technology. Well, modern for me. I don't know. You young people is probably, it's probably old hat. But you have a QR code. The square things with all the little dots, a QR code. What do the letters QR stand for?
Oh, my husband will definitely know this. QR.
Yeah, but he's not doing the quiz.
Yeah, he's a software developer, so he would ace that. QR. Reader. I don't know what the Q would be. Quota reader? No. Don't know.
Well, given the amount of time that you're trying to come up with an answer, it's kind of ironic. It's a quick response.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. In other words, who cares? That's interesting. Who cares, Doctor?
I've never known that.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. Everybody knows our QR code. Yeah, sure, but it's like USB, Anyway, no harm done. You just got 2 wrong so far. That's all right. Question number 7 is another 50-50 one. You can guess this one if you don't know it. In which century did the English physician William Harvey publish a book showing for the first time that blood travelled around the body in a circuit? When did he come up with that? Was it the 11th century or the 17th century? So there's quite a difference there. William Harvey, English physician.
Guess at 17th.
Yeah, good answer.
Because I remember they used to do leeches and stuff for a long time. They didn't understand blood.
That's right. And the other clue in that question is published a book, because there was no books back in.
Yeah.
So it's extra wee clues there. You're going great. You're back on track again. Right. Question number 8. You've got 3 to go, and they start getting slightly more difficult now. You can work this one out loud before you come to an answer. How many states of the United States begin their name with the letter O?
Oh, that's a good question. How many? So got Ohio.
Right.
Oklahoma's a city. I think of another state. See, I've been to the States a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been to Ohio. I've been to one with an O, but there's definitely more than one.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Washington.
Washington.
So many. I'm thinking of so many states, and none of them come with O. There must be more than Ohio. Ohio.
I don't have to know their names. You just got to give me a number so you can maybe guess it.
I could hazard a guess.
Yeah.
4?
Oh, 3 is the right.
I nearly said 3. Damn it.
Like Ohio, Oklahoma, and Oregon are the 3.
I said Oklahoma. I doubted Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
well, it's Oklahoma City in Oklahoma, so yeah, it is a city, but it's also a state. Right, number 9. See if you can get this one. Only the surname is all you need for this one. Which inventor filed the patent for vulcanized rubber back in 1844 and still has his name on tires today?
Wow. So the person who had the patent for rubber in when?
1844. Vulcanized rubber, that is. And still has.
I wish I'd looked closer at wheels before.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that interesting.
No, I could guess a name that would be on rubbers. I have no idea.
I guess is.
I'll say Walsh.
No, you probably heard the name Charles Goodyear.
Oh God. Yeah. I did a story on the Goodyear. Never mind. Years ago, I did a story about them.
I know how it goes. This, it's the next story the next day. And right, last one, 10-point question. This is your chance for the big score. The Dying Swan was a 4-minute dance piece created in 1905 for which famous ballerina? So name the ballerina.
Oh God!
A 4-minute dance piece called the Dying Swan. It was specially created for her. In 1905, what was her name?
I think it begins with M. My sister loves ballet, and she knows this. I can see her face. No, I don't know it. But I do really like ballet, and I can picture her face. Never mind, I've forgotten her name.
Name any ballet. If you can name any ballerina, you probably get it right.
1905.
Yes, 1905. Yeah. She performed the piece round about 4,000 times in her career. It's difficult.
I do. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to recall it.
Okay, it's Anna Pavlova.
Anna
Pavlova.
I just couldn't remember the name.
As you've got 3 and 2 and 1 is 6, and you got the 5 and the 7, which is 12. So that gives you a total of 18 scored, Rebecca.
Thanks, Paul.
Well, listen, it puts the Lib Dems in the lead, and that's the main thing, right? So you've done a great job, and you should be in a much easier seat next time. If you could stand in what is the most Lib Dem seat in Scotland?
What do you mean?
Well, like, what's the most likely to return a Lib Dem to Holyrood?
Well, that is a very awkward question for me to ask when I work for the MSPs who are seeking re-election.
I suppose it is a little bit awkward.
Who's the most likely to come back to their job in a month?
Yeah, there is that way of looking at it. Is it?
I mean, we've held Shetland and Orkney for a long time. I was
going to say Shetland and Orkney, yeah, because they don't trust those Lowland, Labour, Tory, all that stuff. No, it's just they'll go for the Lib Dems. Anyway, I hope you get out knocking doors before too long, Rebecca.
Thanks. Me too.
Thank you for doing the quiz. Really appreciate coming and doing this because obviously you're on the spot and everything like that. But 18 score for the Lib Dems. I'll be doing the league table shortly, and I'll let you know. I'll send you a link. Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good night. Ooh, 18 scored. Now, listen, that is the lowest so far, but I tell you what, I think they were quite difficult. I think she was a bit unlucky with the questions, to be honest.